All right, we are live. I am here with the social media guru for the staffing industry, Dave Wilson. It is an absolute pleasure to have you on here. Thanks for joining us. We're just going to do a quick, LinkedIn live or social media live, when I look at companies out there, social media experts, I don't see a lot of people in the space of staffing. And a lot of independent staffing agencies really don't have a grasp on social media marketing in regards to talent acquisition and client acquisition. And I stumbled upon you on LinkedIn, and it wasn't by accident. It was because of all of your activity that you have on LinkedIn and on Facebook. I mean, your content was fed right into my feed, and I ate up every bit of it. And I've learned so much from you. And I had to get you live into right now, Dave. You're live into multiple Facebook groups in Utah, which is on the other side of the country.
Love it.
But what are you doing out there, social media wise, to get people to, apply and take these jobs, to get clients? What are your secrets? Walk us through it.
I'll tell you, Steve. Thanks. And I've had you on my show. I love it. And my career from my former company is just everything's been about visual, social media. I grabbed onto that about 4 years ago, and I went with it with the staffing industry. And I know exactly what everybody feels out there, man. Work all the way up to that market manager and branch manager, all that good stuff. And we need 500 people here, 300 people here on a Friday. And I could go on and on about that. But what I like about even yourself is you're willing to try different things. You really have to step out. Like on social media to be successful, what I found even on LinkedIn now is, between your job boards, like when we see people, posting jobs.
Yeah.
I talked about it last night it's just not about posting that job. It's how you do it. All right. For free, make your job posting. Hey, share it everywhere, all around to every group.
Right.
Works perfect. Learn the insights. Like I've told everybody, facebookblueprint.com. Have your recruiters.
Great
have everybody
resource.
go to that. Free. You get a little certificate. You want to pay $600 for it, but I'm not. But when you really, corporate will buy into that because, I've told you before, I would just expense it. And you can really, really get creative and target those candidates that you want, forklift drivers, your electric pallet jack, your warehouse, because what's happens is when you post that ad and if you're paying for it, I don't want my wife, I don't want my family liking it because of me. That's my money. I'm paying for that. Target your audience specifically, go after them, and you're going to see that it'll just start to flood the gates, man. I used to walk in the office and I would say to Shale all the time, I said, you know what? She goes, you didn't. I said, the tsunami is coming. Because when you hit that right audience, let me tell you, they're going to come. They're going to come hard, fast, and you better be prepared to answer the messages. Now, with that being said, I've noticed some companies are getting better. You have to get creative. Sell the job, not just come on down, $12 an hour, need your steel-toe shoes, no background checks, here's a drug screen, just show up. That's it.
I went on a rant last night, Dave, about that very topic. I don't get why other agencies, and it's going to be to their demise. I mean, I'm sorry that you haven't been able to work that out with your clients and maybe your corporate officers, what have you. But if you don't tell the applicant, the company you're hiring for, the shift, the wages, if you're not transparent about that, what makes you think they're going to trust you to be transparent on other things? And all you're doing is wasting their time. You're wasting your time and their time, because if they're not a quality candidate, if they've already worked at that company, you just wasted 5 minutes having a discussion with someone that wasn't the right fit for that position. So why are you afraid of that? Like, do you think they're just going to go in and call that company up and say, hey, I heard you're hiring through Hire Me Talent Acquisition. So, hey, can I get a job? And then they just steal that person from you. It doesn't happen anymore.
No. And I like what you do, and I've watched you. it reminds me of what I did was, listen, for example, we have Crayola, Tesla, FedEx, we have all the companies here, and they would allow me, iHerb, all of them would allow me to say their names. And if you say their names, and if I was doing that Facebook Live out there saying, hey, come out to Crayola, people really it opens it up. Yeah. So when they come to your branch and you'll say, I'm here for the Crayola, well, they are filled right now, but now we have these other positions. Wow. Then they get to know you and they're like, oh, you're the guy on Facebook. They'll see your recruiters. Oh, you're there. And they get to, what I've learned through the years now is they get to know you and trust you.
Right. Yeah, and that's important. Trust is key in this. And so if you can't be transparent on the job boards about who you're hiring for, you're not going to get any further in that relationship.
And it's tough. And I get it. I know some companies, because I think what happens is they don't want people coming to the sites, because you got to stop and figure, you don't just go to a company now and apply at their door. You got to go through the staffing. So, but if you're very clear, on your directions on what to do, that is the prime example. And the next success, and I'm sure you utilize it, is your text us, your constant contact, and social media. That's all you need. I am telling you, and your live videos, I don't care. I don't care who's out there not going to listen to me. You will fill that branch if you utilize it correctly.
That's the key word, correctly.
I mean, I love Texas. I've had the CEO on the show, and constant contact, social. If you're afraid to try something different, man, I could talk forever on, between Texas, because I'm going to give you a short secret. If you're recruiters right now, I'm sure you utilize Texas, right?
We do. Yeah. Texas is a great resource.
So you tell your recruiters right now, you go over there, say you have, and I can say it now, but you say, I have jobs at Crayola, FedEx, Tesla, everything like that. Forklift drivers, pallet jack, warehouse workers. You make yourself up a menu, a simple menu. Highlight the money in red. Put your location, your shifts. Text the word Crayola. Text the word forklift. So when it comes into your offices, normally in our office, when I had the 6 recruiters, they all had their own, companies assigned to them.
Yeah.
So when Crayola would come up, well, we knew it was Mike. FedEx came up, we knew it was Shaylin. So your recruiters kind of really knew, don't touch that, that's mine. So
they can be assigned to those texts.
You text that out, and then you do an email blast with that platform, with the menu. After that wears out, then you use your platform for social media, post that menu, just the menu, with something red and green. Red and green are your top colors. I am telling you. Now you're purple, I know. Elwood, but red and green draw the attention. Don't ask me, maybe it's money. I don't know. Maybe. But you try those 2 colors and promote that. Text the word. I am telling you, Steve, you know me, man. I'll talk forever, and that thing will just blast. But the last thing I want to talk to you on that part about is if you don't answer them.
You got to answer. You got to answer fast too. You can't wait an hour, 2, 3, 4.
No, because I see you have a lot of jobs. You're saying like you have hundreds of jobs.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're doing our big virtual party tomorrow, job party, where I don't see anybody else doing this in the industry. And, you're going to be able to interact with the top HR managers of the top companies tomorrow. And they're going to talk to you about the positions, the pay, 100% transparent. And you're going to be able to literally leave a Facebook Live with a job offer. I don't know.
Fantastic.
How do you do that? That's never been done before.
No. And when I saw that you were going to do that, that is where I'm going to give you a shout out, because you listen. Some people say that won't work. Listen, the job, I'm not going to go into my job fair spiel, but the drive-throughs, and I get it. But what you're doing there is to convince that HR director. I'll tell you what, you get them on there. I had one company, KPI Logistics, what was Ed Miller. We were allowed to interview KGP. We were allowed to interview the supervisors in the break room.
Wow.
I was able to set up live when I first started. Get that. And then the employees
That's
would come
amazing.
in and we interviewed. Now, we didn't show the production floor. You heard the forklifts. But what you did right there was the same thing that Ed did. And we were having a blast with it because you're getting that HR director there, but let them see you're human.
Yeah.
You know, and I wish you luck on that. I cannot wait. When you said, because if you get some of them that are going to do that, I know how hard it is with corporate, and they have nothing to lose but fill the orders.
Well, that's the thing. When you have hundreds of openings, you've got to be accessible to the talent, and humanize that, build that trust. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to do. I've got 12 HR partners lined up for tomorrow's event.
Nice.
And it's gonna, they're gonna be given 10 minutes, which is a lot of time, but it's gonna go fast. And at the end of the day, we're gonna have our candidate base, their ideal candidates that are gonna be able to really connect with them on a personal level. And where else are you gonna find an opportunity outside of traditional job fair to connect with the HR manager? You don't have those opportunities anymore in this post-COVID-19 world that we live in. And so now we're going to bring the HR managers to you, and we're going to let you connect and see if it's a good fit. And if it is, that transaction is going to go fast. This is going to be some of the fastest hiring process that you've seen in years because it's all virtual now.
And that's what I mean, because you're taking it, let's face it, you're with Elwood, you're taking that to the next level. You're trying something different, and I think it's going to be successful because you're going to be doing it live. Listen, you might only have a few people start out, but within that first 15 minutes, it starts. Yeah. And you get, even if you got 40 people, let's just say 40, that's 40 people that you didn't do anything before. That's a lot of great revenue, but it's also people that will be interested. I think it's going to lower your retention. I mean, keep your retention level really well, because they're going to talk to they can ask an honest question and you don't see them.
Exactly. And they can interact live with that HR manager.
I think it's going to go well for you. I'm excited for it for you. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to be watching it because would I utilize that now? I'm not in that position to utilize that now, but wow, what you're doing there, I'll tell you what, I've gone on to some job fairs, virtual, and I had to email the company because I wanted to learn about it. And I was like, there's nobody on. It was scrolling. So I'm like, I called the career link. I said, Rod, are they having it? And they said, yeah, nobody's on it. What are you doing? Have fun.
Yeah, that's just I've seen that as well. You have these, you have these virtual job fairs where you get a list of 100 companies and you can click on the link and then view all the jobs. And then if you're interested, you can chat and then wait for a recruiter to chat back. That just seems just like ridiculous. Like I'm not going to take that much time as a job seeker versus here, Facebook Live, I'm going to get 10-minute spurts. I'm going to get to interact with all of the top HR managers. And for those of you that can't make the live, there's going to be links for each HR manager at the time spot that they started. So you could just click on the link, listen in, take notes, and then contact us immediately if you're interested. It's going to be so easy, applicant friendly. At the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. Make it applicant friendly so they can get to the HR manager, get to the job as fast as possible.
But you realize you actually kind of reversed the roles. You're actually, think about it, because you're going to a job fair. We all know the traditional, you're walking around, but think about it. They're getting to interview. They're interviewing you, the HR, the person, whoever the rep is. Yeah. So when I watched you last night, I do watch Elwood. I think you're doing great there. Hey, you got to get ideas. But I like how you even talked about putting that information out there about the shifts, how you said shift blocks. Some companies are coming out with different shifts.
Yes.
For schooling. I love
exactly. Because there's parents that have to be home on Friday because their kids are on a virtual Friday schedule. What do you do if you have to work?
Yes. And I think by you doing that, bringing that up, maybe somebody's going to ask that question. They're going to say, hey, what are you doing? Can we do this? Or what's the new norm, if you want to call it?
Right. Can I work 4 days a week, even though this is a 5-day schedule? Will you accommodate my schedule? And I think in this market, companies are more likely to do that right now because they don't have options with. I mean, imagine you probably have kids, Dave. I've got 2 young ones under the age of 5, and I foresee like a weekly school shutdown for a week, and then I see my kid getting exposed to someone in their classroom, so he's on a mandatory quarantine for 14 days, and I see this repeating itself throughout the school year, which means I, as the parent, have to figure out how do I quarantine my family and work at the same time. And it's gonna be such a challenging times for all working parents, and so companies have to have some policies in place that just forego anything they've ever done in the past when it comes to attendance policies. They've got to do something new and creative to accommodate that, and I see companies doing that already, which really impresses me. But they've got to have schedules now that accommodate even the kids' working schedule, where they have virtual days 2 days a week or 1 day a week or all virtual. And I'm talking about the light industrial space that these companies have to figure this out, and some are, and some will catch on. And that's encouraging for the job seeker, is they can now not have to worry about what they're going to do with their kids at home and still bring in an income. They can take care of both. And that's some of the things that we'll talk about on this virtual live job fair. You can ask those questions with our HR managers and partners. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is. And what I think one on my part is when you're saying that is you're selling the job. To me, when recruiters say to me, well, it's only $12 an hour, it's only 13 and they're paying 16. I get that. And I really do. I know I get online sometimes and I bash things about pay rates, but sometimes it's not all about that. If you have a $13 an hour job and you have a 15 or 16, take that job, have the recruiters really sit back and see what that company offers. See what they might have that better shift. They might have a lenient, something different, because for a parent, it's not just about that $2. It's not all. I mean, I go back and forth, but you need to sell the position.
Exactly.
Now. And
the flexibility. If I can take care of my kid's school schedule, and I make $2 less an hour, I'm going to pick that up over the $16 an hour job that has zero flexibility every time.
That's what I mean. So I tell the staff here, I just sit there and I tell them, listen, sell. Like I called yesterday it was an office position for a pool company. I said, can you sell me? And she's like, well, what do you mean? It's office person, just an office person. I'm like, just an office person, but what are you looking for? Like, tell me something. It took me like 15 minutes okay, so when you say computer skills, what do you mean?
Yes.
PowerPoint? No. Okay. But what I did was then she got the idea. Okay, so a year experience, that's all. Okay. The schedule was great. They didn't have benefits, not at this time, but it's full time. Okay. But it was the schedule, because they said they were flexible for the parents that had to drop off their children for school.
Mm.
When she said that, because the bus gets off at 8:00, they can go right to work. I placed that on the ad and I've gotten 16 people already. Now I got to follow up with them. I'm not sure if they're all going to, fit. But my point there is I started out with that. Look, if I didn't ask her that. So a parent can drop the child.
Yeah.
Not all companies can do that. I mean, let's face it.
But they have to start look if they're drowning, they have to start looking at those things, and they've got to make some hard decisions, because at the end of the day, they need to keep their product going. They got to make sure their customers are happy, and sometimes that means flipping your traditional staffing model upside down and just starting from scratch.
No, and like I said, I thank you, and I'm excited to see that tomorrow. I really am, because I want to see. I'm hoping that your feed and the questions start coming in, because if that's all that happens, your first one, if that's all that happens and you got 10, 20, it was a success.
Yeah.
To me, it's the beginning, because then you're going to tweak it. What didn't work, what, something's going to go wrong. You're going to laugh. You're going to have fun. You're going to get that person that's not going to want to get on there, but have fun with it and let them see that you're real. Have your recruiters get involved and have fun. And it goes a long way. And that's the best advice I can offer that really drove my success with the social media. And just be yourself, man. I mean, I'm going to tell you a short story. I'm going to get off here, but I'm going to show you a short story. I was doing a live, and all of a sudden you get people from your past, from high school, that popped up. Oh, hi. You're like, wow, they started following you, and then you're froze. You're like, you're doing a job thing. But when it comes to the video, just have fun. And on your insights, when you look at your insights, look at the job postings. You're going to see when I'm going to, on those insights, to where the job postings, how you only have 3 or 4 likes. But when you look under the insights of your video, and when you see 150, 200, 300, 400, that's where you got to focus on that part. Still put your ads, because you still need your name.
Yes.
You still need Elwood there. You still need the office. You need the hours. But when you add all that together, man,
just magic.
It's priceless. But no, I want to thank you for your time, and for Elwood allowing, and
Dave, really appreciate your time. Dave is a social media guru for the staffing industry. I've always taken my best pointers from him, just watching his stuff online. So please reach out to him if you're, want to learn some more on social media and how that can help your business. And Dave, thanks again, man.
Thank you, Steve. I'm going to be watching. I'm going to pop in and I'm going to watch. I'm going to ask those HR. You watch. I'm going to disguise. I'm going to use my 4 different profiles. They're not going to know who I am.
I love it.
I'll use different names, and I'm going to be like, so what do you do? And I'm going to have fun with them. But no, seriously, tell everybody, just tell them, those HR directors, they don't even know me. I don't care. But if they got to just embrace it, man, I'm excited for themselves. You started this. So if you watch, if it's successful, then you can sit back and say, see,
I hope this is a springboard. I think this is just the first of many, virtual job parties that are live on Facebook.
Yeah, because I don't know what you do in Utah. I mean, I'm in Pennsylvania. I don't know what's in Utah. I don't even know Utah.
Just mountains and snow. That's all.
Do you have farm animals? Do you have anything out there? What the hell's that?
Lots of farming. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I've never been there. Never heard of it. Just it's on that map.
We'll bring you down here soon.
All right, Brian. Thank you so much, and talk to you soon, man. All right, thanks everybody.
Take care.
All right.